What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today is a greens maintenance day. I have some stuff to do back here. I've got some brushing out to do. I'm going to put a little more sand on it. I am going to mow it, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the mower that I got. I know so many of you have been wondering what I actually chose, and today is the day you get to find out. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so before I whip this thing out, I want to talk a little bit about the mower that I used to use pretty much on the same area. However, this spot, the green, is actually maybe slightly bigger than the old lawn, only because I'm not mowing around stuff. So I kind of picked up a little bit more space up here. It's really hard to remember exactly how that shape was. This side never really changed. The position of the rock wall didn't really change a whole lot. So, you know, I might have given up a few square feet, but I had that John Deere mower, the JD 180, that I would run on it every now and again. Otherwise, I was using my Great States 5-reel, which works great, but that is not gonna work for this, even close. So my biggest complaint with that John Deere is I always felt like I was chasing it around. And a lot of the sort of more, I guess, residential available mowers out there, the Alette, the Swardman, those types of things, California trimmer, they don't go as low as I want them to. So I reached out to a company about 2 years ago thinking this was something that I wanted to purchase, and started doing my research and talking to them then. And so then now that I got the green in and I knew what I wanted to accomplish with it, I knew this was the mower that I really wanted. So here it is. So yeah, this is the Hudson Star mower. This is their PGA setup, which allows it to go down to 3/32 of an inch, 2.5 millimeter. But I want to show you just how easy this thing turns, glides, and cuts. The control is chain driven here, and you just barely move this thing, and you get a very high speed gear reduction to move this blade. And this is an 11 blade reel, so it is smooth as hell, cuts incredibly well, and then everything pivots off of these two. But again, independently, both of them will drive the chain, so it'll keep spinning no matter which direction you're turning. So if I have just this one, when I'm turning around in a corner, the blade keeps going. If I go the opposite direction, same thing, but obviously not in reverse. So I've already cut the grass with this 4 or 5 times. And today I'm going to do it again, and I'm actually not going to collect the clippings today. I'm going to let them sort of go all over the place. I have this thing set relatively low. It's right at about 3/8 of an inch right now, and the goal is to get this green down and smooth enough to get it to its lowest possible setting. So that'll be my goal as we move along here. Now, this here's pretty slick. This is all it takes to raise and lower. So left takes it lower, right goes up a little bit. Now the other thing I have for this is actually a bar. It's an extension bar for the wheel here, for the roller to take it up, so it can go as much as 1.5 inches high. So if you were going to use this on a lawn, you could. And I mean, when you look at this thing, it doesn't really look like much. But imagine for a second, a standard reel mower stripped down without an engine on top of it. This is pretty much what you're dealing with. But I'm gonna tell you what, the cut and the control and the ability to not be chasing after a big heavy mower is wonderful. Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to be getting rid of the John Deere, because having that big heavy roller and almost a 300-pound machine is gonna help kind of smooth this out. This guy right here, complete, is right around 80 pounds, so you can actually pick it up, move it, throw it in the back of a car, take it somewhere. So let me show you how this cuts. So you can see that thing puts down a pretty good stripe. I mean, it actually is, it's really nice. It's a super clean cut and it's fast. And I kind of wanted to keep it that way. Something that's easy, something I can move around, something I can take in and out of the shed without a whole lot of difficulty. Really have no maintenance. I've got the sharpening kit for it. So, you know, this thing is something that can last me a long time if I keep it clean, and that's really it. No oil changes, spark plugs, gas. Forget about all that crap. That guy makes it super freaking easy. So those are the reasons that I chose that particular mower. Works great, gets me done quick, I'm out of here, but we need to do some other maintenance to this today. So if you noticed, I put this edge in kind of around this side right here. This is an area where I never really intended to have grass growing, but it kind of washed in there and you'll see a little bit. But this sand right here is actually what I'm gonna be using for the next little while to kind of fill in little low spots. Even though you could see when I was mowing it, this thing's pretty smooth, but I wanna start putting a little more sand back into it, brushing it in, getting the grass standing up even a little bit more, and just get a little more depth. In a second, we'll cut another hole out. I have one already in because I have put on this a couple of times, but we'll do another one and take a look at some roots, and I'll show you how the development of this thing is coming along over 3.5 weeks since germination. Let's do that. Still see this is very thin. It's just barely coming in some of these spots. So it's got a long way to go. Very early to be really cutting holes, but you know, why not have a little fun with it? So you can see our roots coming through. We're maybe 2 inches down or so on that section. Something like that. Over in the areas where it's a little more mature, some of those roots are pushing like 4 inches at this point. Let's just do this. See how much is growing inside underneath still. It's all this new stuff. This is just ready to come out. There's my thin layer of peat moss. You can see that, and then just a little bit of sand I just brushed down on top of it. Get a little better look at the roots that way. So I'm just clinging on there. Kling-ons. So, there's where this is 3 weeks post-emergence. Like I said, there's so much under here that had not quite broken through. You can kind of see in here. It's all just coming up through the peat still. You can brush that away. But what I'm trying to do today is stand it up a little bit more. So I'm putting more sand into the top of it, just to give it a little bit more upright stance, and then be able to start taking it lower and lower as we go. I've got a couple little spots that are still, I'm kind of hitting with my mower blade, so I kind of need to work out my pattern of cut on here and all that kind of good stuff. But overall, you know, I think it's moving along pretty good. It's definitely time for a feeding. There you go, look at that. So that's just a little taste of how this is going to go coming into next year. Given that this is still brand new and it really isn't on its full maintenance program yet, I've already been out here for an hour and a half or so just to do these couple little things. Now the plan for next year is this is going to be mowed pretty much every day, every other day if I get behind. And then I'll probably do some level of a top dressing or brushing in every week. Just a small amount to keep that thing rolling smooth and really thickened up. So that's going to be something that happens on a regular basis. The other few things that'll likely happen throughout the year is probably some verticutting, scarifying, things like that. And this is all just to maintain a small space, a little 1,200 square foot putting green. Now that might be big for some people, but it's really kind of a small space. So these are just some of the considerations and things to look at if you are considering doing this. It is some work. It's a lot of work, and you need to be prepared for it. It's not like just taking care of the residential turf up there that needs to be cut once or twice a week, maybe, you know, fed every 6 weeks, maybe. This is something that is weekly and daily, and you got to be out here all the time. So I really want to stress that and stress the importance of this. At this point, I've actually already cut this grass about 6 times. Kind of hard to believe because it is still, you know, thin and coming in, but the idea is to get it going, spreading laterally, and just starting to create that beautiful putting green matte surface that I really would like to get after. As time goes on, some of these other little ridges and things that I'm working on will start to smooth out as the grass gets thicker, and I just keep doing my frequent top dressing. So just wanted to give you a little taste of what's going on here, show the mower that I'm going to be using for the foreseeable future, and now I'm just going to let this thing dry out, come back in and brush it again later this afternoon, and even cut it one more time so I can putt around a little bit out here. But there you go. Thanks for joining in. There's links below to some of the products that I used in here, the rake, the hole cutter, even the flags and the cups. So if that's something that you're looking for, you can jump over there. I'm not an affiliate. It's just links where you can find it. So that's it. I'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.